What's going on? This is City Chapters Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby J. Today's chapter, we got Austin Visintainer. Austin Visintainer, aka Viz, is a professional snowboarder and skateboarder from Spokane, Washington. In 2021, he made his first professional film debut in the opening part of Paper Tiger, produced by the Bombhole. You can also check him out in another sweet opening part in the short film Loon Mixtape by Capita. And he just wrapped up a new snowboard film called Bone Crusher by 32 to be released this fall. This past 22-23 season, he was all over the place. Some highlights were the spot check at Mammoth by 32 boots. And he went on to go into the finals against Garrett McKenzie in a game of snow competition produced by Slush, the magazine. And he's got sponsorships, some behemoths in the game of snowboarding, Capita, 32 boots, Union Bindings, Cole Headwear, Modest Eyewear, Crab Grab Gloves. He's sponsored by the Space Program by our homie Sebastian and Pistol Board Shop. And if you like a little, smoke, he's got a little sponsored by the Love It Farms. That was probably the most nerve-wracking intro I've done because I look up to this homie right here because he's such a gangster on the snowboard. And, man, I'm just stoked to have him in here. What's going on, Austin?
Stoked to be here. Hello, everybody.
So me and Austin, we met, I had heard about him for a long time prior, a couple years prior to me actually meeting him, but I was going to the Great P&W factory for something, and I walked in, and, the guys are like, yo, Viz is out back about to do something crazy off this truck. I was like, oh, for real? So I got to, kind of help and be a little bit of part of the process of, getting him up on the truck and just watching this guy do some crazy stuff off of that P&W truck. If you know where the P&W factory is off of Freya, there's a big truck on this container back there that pops out. So if you're ever driving by, this guy, he climbs up there and just comes flying off of it. And I don't know if that clip even released yet, but I saw a little clip of some share on social, I think, recently.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do with that clip yet. Might just be a photo for hopefully a magazine or something, but It was quite the wild ride that day. It was fun.
Yeah. That was super cool, man. And it's, I just recently got back into snowboarding pretty heavy a couple years ago again. I kind of lost my way with it for a while. I just got distracted with other things in life and lost my love for it in a way, I didn't lose the love, but I just wasn't acting in that love as much as I used to. And finding it again, man, has been just I don't know, I'm addicted to it now, more than I ever was. And
feel that.
Just seeing homies like you and your crew crushing it from out here it's so cool to see, man. And it's really cool to see somebody from our community make it in snowboarding, you know what I mean, in a way that I have not seen before. So I'm not saying one of my homies made it, you know what I mean? Because we're just getting to know each other, but it's cool to see a guy from the community out there traveling and doing big things with some big brands, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's it's been a wild journey for sure.
Yeah,
it's a lot of ups and downs, but it's been sick for sure.
Cool. All right, that's my hype up. That was my hype up. You know what I mean? So.
We're homies, too. We're homies.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. So let's get into your background. You were born in Spokane?
I was born actually in Astoria, Oregon.
Okay.
And then my parents moved back to Spokane shortly after that when I was 3 or 4 months.
Oh, yeah. So
basically grew up in Spokane.
Right. Yeah, I moved out here when I was 6 from Denver. And I still feel like that same way. I have some of my first memories of Colorado, but really I was raised out here in the Medical Lake area. How did you get into snowboarding and skateboarding? I know those both kind of started early for you.
It was one of those, all these neighbor kids. I looked up to. They were a couple years older than me. They had a mini ramp in their backyard. There was like a group of 5 or 6 of them. And I was like, I think my dad and mom probably saw me like obsessing over what this was, So they got me a skateboard and then started skating with all these kids. They got me into it. And then it gets really cold here in the winter and it snows. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, what am I supposed to do in the winter? And then they were like, we all snowboard in the winter. So then they got me into that too. And it's just been game over since then.
When did you start skateboarding? How old were you?
My dad first I had this little skateboard that had a handle on it that you could pull up and down, kind of like a scooter board. My dad got me one of those when I was 3. So I've been on 4 wheels for 24 years now, I guess. Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Awesome, man. I love that.
And then snowboarding was like a couple years after that, I think, once I figured out the balance and everything like that.
Did you start at Mount Spokane?
I think the first time I ever went up was 49 degrees north.
Okay.
I want to say either that or Mount Spokane, kind of either or.
Yeah, for me, I started skiing when I was like 3 in Colorado. And then by the time we moved here, I was like, I want to snowboard. So I started snowboarding at Mount Spokane. That was like the first places that we went to. And then kind of transitioned to 49 a little bit later. I just love snowboarding, man. Like ever since I started, it's just been like an addiction almost. And I skateboarded when I was younger too. Something that I want to dabble back into just to stay on a board. You know what I mean? During the summer. But did you know, like, from that time you started, like, did it become an obsession, an addiction for you? Like, basically, like, I want to figure out how to do this as much as possible.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, as soon as I started skateboarding and snowboarding, I was like, yo, this is what I want to do for my life, or at least try to. And my dad and mom were super supportive. I think my dad saw that passion at a really young age and just like wanted to do everything that he could to support me. And he has kind of a background in playing golf at like a really high level. So I think he saw my passion for snowboarding and skateboarding and was like, oh, I get it. It's kind of like a different type of thing, but
he understood the passion. And
yep,
that's really cool. So your dad, did he play at a professional level then, or?
Yeah, so he got a college scholarship to the University of San Francisco.
Nice.
To play golf. And yeah, I mean, that's like what he loved to do, and that's why I was born in over on the Oregon coast. He was one of the club pros over there for one of the courses over there. So he's crazy good at golf, dude. It's wild. I golf with him all the time still, and it's like, yo, he makes it look so easy.
I'm terrible at golf.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to get better.
I'm terrible. But I've only played like 3 games, but I'm at a place in life now at this age, I'm 34, where I'm like, I want to get good at this game. I hadn't had that before when I played. I was just like, whatever. But now I'm like, no, I need to, like, one, because I feel like as you get older, like, you need excuses to hang out with your boys, like, we're all busy, especially my people, like, we got businesses or whatever. So, like, just to kick it is rare, unless we're doing something, whether it's snowboarding or, golf is obviously a big one for people. And I don't know, I went to that Rainier one, and I luckily had 2 people on my team that were good. One, especially my homie Pat, shout out Pat. That dude, like, never missed the fairways. I was just like, how do you do this, bro? I'm like everywhere. And luckily we were playing scramble, so luckily we got to take his shot pretty much most of the time. My homie Cody did really well too, so sometimes we were taking his. But me and my brother, like, bro, I broke a club, and I borrowed those clubs, so luckily it only cost me $20. to replace it. But
Happens. I think golf
Yeah.
it's good for the mental game too. I think that like with snowboarding and skateboarding, it's really mental. Golf is kind of the same mental focus and like it's very satisfying when you hit the ball nicely.
I'm glad you bring that up because that's what I realized this last time playing. Like, golf is about training your patience, like not forcing things, learning how to be more in flow. And that is something that I came into touch with this last game that I was playing out there. I was like, you have so much patience still to learn, and this game can help you understand that and teach it. And so that was kind of like a realization that I had about the game and why I want to get better at it.
Yep. That's kind of where I'm at too. I hurt my knee last year. I wasn't able to skateboard at all. So I started playing golf and I was like, wow, this is really good for mentally like snowboarding and practicing my patience because I've kind of been on the same journey with, trying to learn all of that.
Yeah,
It's helped a lot for sure.
definitely. We'll come back to that later on because I have a question about like visualization and things of that nature for how you think about mastering tricks and such. But so when you're growing up, you fall in love with this. Did you start competing like at a young age?
Yeah, so pretty much probably when I was maybe 8 years old or so, my dad was like, well, if you really like this, like, let's get you into some contests. There's used to be tons of local events. It was like
Yeah.
USASA. And I had I had a really good friend and his brother that were involved in that as well. So we kind of had our little crew back in the day with that. And yeah, we just did all the events together. Probably till I was about 15 or 16, going on the circuit, trying to qualify for the nationals they have. It's typically in like Colorado or somewhere. So
Right.
gives you motivation to go to a bigger mountain and
Who was
train.
hosting those the most around here? Swites or?
So they did, I think each mountain, they wanted to try and involve every single mountain. So
That's good.
Schweitzer,
Yeah.
49, Mount Spokane, Lookout, they would all do a couple events every single year. So gets you, everywhere you want to go. And it was really fun to experience all those mountains at a young age for sure.
Did you so your dad, like, he obviously supported you. Was he taking you to the mountain anytime you wanted? Like, was he pushing you to go to the mountain even more than you wanted, or you like the one like, Dad, come on, I want to go?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he never really pushed me at all, He
But
was
you,
just
yeah.
like down like on the weekends, obviously, like he's got work, I have to go to school every day.
Right.
So, we'd pretty much go every weekend, or my mom would take me to.
Would they just drop you off sometimes when you were younger?
My dad and my mom both ski, so a lot of the times they'd cruise with me till I got a little older, and I was probably like, yo, I'm trying to go do my own thing.
Yeah.
But
right.
yeah, no, they always came with me, and yeah, kind of some crazy stories from that too. My mom like went off the backside of Schweitzer one time.
Oof.
She was just trying to have a good day, She somehow ends up, it's really foggy up there, as a lot of the locals probably know.
Yeah.
Somehow got lost, winds up down the mountain, total badass. She walks, I don't know how many miles to try and find somebody's house. It's kind of before I had a phone or anything, so she's trying to get a hold of me. She gets a ride up from the plow driver, and 6:30 or 7 rolls around. We're like, holy smokes! Like, she tells us
Yeah.
the whole story. It was crazy.
Dang. Yeah, that's wild. I had a friend a couple years ago. He got lost on Mount Spokane on a Sockton day, and we had to go get him and another one of my homegirls. She got heli lifted out of Schweitz one time because she got lost, and it was night, and they found her luckily. But Yeah, it's wild, man.
It can be wild when you guys talk about going out of bounds and stuff and
Yeah,
everything, but
yeah,
when you go out of bounds on accident and you don't
yeah.
know where you're going and you can't see, it's like,
Scary, man.
oh man,
Real scary.
we're in the wilderness out there for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, luckily now, like, because of you know doing some of my backcountry training, which is really minor at this point. But I took my AB1, I took my wilderness first aid. I have a little bit more confidence even inbounds and like right if I were to get lost, like I have at least some skill sets of knowing what to do. Now I didn't realize really before, like I didn't think of the safety of even riding inbounds, but I think about it differently now that I took my AB1 and such. It's kind of different how my perspective has changed since those classes.
For sure. I have yet to take my avalanche courses. Something I'm trying to do when
Yeah,
maybe stop street snowboarding so much.
right, right.
Some mountains are a beast, man. You gotta stay up on that stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you don't want to be the friend that doesn't know what they're doing and is putting everybody at risk. I think.
Definitely. I mean, when you come to like backcountry, there's I think a responsibility that is serious that comes with it. And I had people offer to take me in the backcountry prior, but I was just like, no, I don't even care if you know what you're doing. I don't. So I waited. Now I got to do some of that last season going in the backcountry, and that's what I've always dreamed about doing in snowboarding. And man, there's nothing like getting to experience it, man. For me, like that was part of my dream of what I want to accomplish in snowboarding, and getting out there has just been like, can't wait till this season to do more of it.
Yep, I know. I'm trying to get back there too. My powder
Yeah.
days have been very limited the last few seasons with filming and
Yeah.
everything, but it's all
But you
good.
have a discipline, you have a career,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
pursuing, so it needs your time and attention. And I like something that was good that I heard off the bomb hole was like, you know, like it's cool to be an ATV, which I feel like you are, which all terrain vehicle for people that don't know snowboarding. That means he could do whatever. He could go wherever. And I think generally, like most people that claim to be a snowboarder or snowboard a lot, like it's kind of part of the culture that you should be able to do most things. Like me, I'm the worst at rails. Like that's where I suffer. I am not good on rails because I don't practice them as much. I'm more free riding, chasing powder, like that kind of stuff. So rails terrify me, but I'm getting back into them this last season. Cam from 49 helped me out and gave me some tips. Like, that kid's a savage.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And so he luckily walked me through some things, and it definitely got me more acquainted with rails again. But to be in the pro level like you are, and to even compete, like you have to hyper focus on what it is that your niche is within snowboarding to even be a factor, because there's so much competition, even though it's such a really small industry. But the guys that compete in these areas for sponsorships or whatever, I mean, these guys are insane, bro. Like, you find insane dudes on Instagram every day. Like, who is this guy? Like, what is going on, man? Like,
It is quite something, I think, too. It keeps
yeah,
me motivated to keep learning new stuff for sure. Like seeing all
yeah,
these new up and comers, and I'm like, all right, I gotta
go
go get back
hard,
on the rope toe or
go
something.
hard. Yeah, actually, which that kind of is a good segue to one of my questions that I had. Um, so T, our homie T, was on a chapter before. He wrote an article about you on the local media outlet Out There Outdoors website a couple years ago, and he mentioned a quote you said about busting into the snowboard industry at that time, and how you're coming from Spokane, like pro snowboarders don't be coming out of here. Just is what it is. We don't have terrain or parks to really push most people to that level of competition. And it's hard, like you said, we don't really even have some of those competitions anymore to get people out to the nationals and stuff like we used to, which hopefully we could change again. And like, because I would love to give or be a part of, however city chapters can help, of, you know, like putting kids from Spokane on the map, like to give them a chance to make it, you know. And
For
that,
sure.
I do like what Mount Spokane is doing with their park. Like they are at least making an attempt to give these kids and people a park where you could actually get some good laps in, you know what I mean? So that's been cool. But your quote was, just be so good they can't deny you. And I love that because I've thought about that a lot in my life, about how to make it, or how to, you know, be dominant in the city or whatever, like to become so good at what you do, like people can't ignore you anymore. And so how do you apply that? How do you think of that in your life? And like just give me your like mental thought process of how you talk yourself up to, I'm not gonna be denied, I'm gonna go get it, I'm gonna.
I mean, I think it all started kind of when I was, a little older, maybe 18, 19, starting to really try and break into the snowboard industry and everything. And I think it takes a self-confidence too, that you have to like tell yourself that you're going to be one of the best, Like that's something I try and tell myself every single day. Like don't forget like where you came from and everything, but also like tell yourself that you can do it and everything.
Yeah.
So which led me, I think I heard Chris Grenier say that from the bomb hole, like be so good like they can't deny you. And then I heard that and I was like, yo, I'm just gonna get so good at snowboarding and start making all these videos and post them on Instagram, since that's like a great platform to get yourself out there nowadays, from being from a smaller town.
Definitely.
And just try and, put it all out there and just like try and learn all of these tricks that I see the pros doing and everything, and, work on my style and the way, it evolves naturally, and just basically never giving up on yourself and just trying to like really push forward in what you want to do. And I try and really like put that to every aspect of my life. Like if I'm going to do something, I want to do it to the best of my abilities, So it's like it's helped me a lot in everything in life, for sure.
I had that mentality for a long time, and to be honest, I lost it because, like just in life in general, but like when I was in high school, I was riding with some pretty good guys. Most of the guys were older. I was getting pretty good, but then I got really into partying and, drugs, whatever, just like lost touch with snowboarding. And so I fell out of it. And for you to be at 18, 19, keeping your mind's eye on like, I want to do this, I have a shot. How did you, or how have you maintained discipline and like focus? Because I know the snowboard industry, it comes with a lot of partying, all that kind of
For
stuff.
sure.
You know what I mean? And we lose a lot of great riders to that exact thing that happened to me. You lose, because like 18, 19, those are the prime years of your snowboarding life, in the essence of like it can establish you. That's like the time. It's a strong window of time for a young rider. It's not that you can't make it later, but that window is really important. And if you squander it, it gets harder after that point. I mean, my perspective, because when you're young, coming up, learning in your teens, you're willing and you can take hits a little different. You can go a little harder. You're
For
inspired
sure.
to be a little bit more crazier. Than once you get older, you learn more about the constant pain. And so like that 18, 19 is like you get accustomed to the pain, you get accustomed, you set it as a habit, and you push past that. So like, was your love for snowboarding just so like strong that like these other temptations were like, no, I don't, like I'll dabble, but this is what is most important, and you always kept your mind's eye on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really comes from like the way my dad raised me, I think, and
That's
just
cool. Sounds
I
like you
mean,
got an
both of my
awesome dad,
parents.
dude.
Yeah,
Well,
he's the
and
best.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
work with him all the time. That's where I just came from. But he like when he was playing golf and everything, like, you know, he liked to let loose and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was growing up, he was like, yo, you know, all this stuff is out here. He kind of like told me, you know, from a younger age when people start dabbling into stuff like that, you know, like if you're really serious about this thing, like all this stuff, you know, like I'm not going to tell you not to do it, you know, and like go crazy and whatever and, you know, drink and, you know, drugs, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he gave me that understanding, you know, and he was like, if you really want to do this, like stay focused on what you do and it'll be worth it. And I've always just kind of kept that, you know, it's always in the back of my head that like him saying that and just being like, you know, I just want to stay focused on what I'm doing. Not that I don't like to let loose, you know, every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like I think that's healthy
Yeah.
and everything,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
you know, I'm like so motivated still to this day that, you know, like if I'm partying the night before or something and we have to go do something, snowboarding or skateboarding, like it hinders my ability.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like feeling that way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had an experience a few years ago. It was like kind of end of the year celebration, the year we filmed Paper Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
We're down in Mount Hood, Holy Bully.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're having a night, dude. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
Dude, but, you know, 2 a.m. rolls around. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like laying on the floor, like probably thrown up. I'm like in a fetal position on the ground, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the younger homies that rides for Capita walks in, dude. I'm like so embarrassed, dude. I'm like,
You're
oh
naked.
god. No, I got my undies on, but I'm looking like a fool, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the next day, like I couldn't even snowboard, dude. It's the first day of Holy Bully. It's beautiful out. There's all these people. I'm like sitting in the trees, like freaking not even able to do anything, like throwing up on the side of the hill, and I'm just like, yo, I can't keep doing this. Like,
Yeah.
so, you know, it's happened a few times, but it's just made me realize, like, when I'm on a trip or I'm trying to do something, like, I'm super motivated to, like, go and get a clip or whatever it may be.
Right. That's important, man, because, like, the discipline that it takes to be great, it's a lot. And that's something I've had to learn the hard way because I've tried to barter with life and get around things that I know I shouldn't do and keep doing them and still thinking I'm going to become great because I want to do what I want to do. I want to be stubborn. I want to, you know, and I've struggled, you know, with alcohol. I've been pretty open about that on the podcast. And the reason I struggle with it is, you know, like, yeah, making terrible decisions, of course, or whatever, but like how it hinders your performance and it prolongs or prevents or destroys the possibility of becoming great. You know, like it can take away so much from somebody that is pursuing great goals or has high aspirations. And so for people that really want to accomplish a lot in life, if anything, if it's alcohol in this case, takes away from that, then it has to be either removed or it has to be thought of and used in a way that's not abusive to your career, to your goals, those kinds of things. So for me right now, I've cut it out. It's been 2 years. And I just feel like now I'm just having a breakthrough mentally again from the damage I did, you know. So it's interesting to hear. And I think more in snowboarding than ever, there's the talk about like respect in regards to how you use alcohol. Because before it's been a lot of thrash culture and it always will be like this. It's never going to go away. But there's a lot more talk about like alcohol abuse than there ever was in snowboard, probably just in life in general, but snowboarders especially talk about it now because it's like to be a high performer, once again, the competition is so high that if you want to be a dude that's trying to push it to a level to get high recognition, to be one of the greats within this space and actually make a living out of it, like it takes all your attention, all your energy. And so finding the right time to party versus like we do this every day, you can, but how much does it take away from your bottom line of your performance?
For sure. I mean, I think for me too, like some people are so naturally good at snowboarding and skateboarding, like they might be able to do that every night and still
Yeah.
function and be better than pretty much everybody. But I'm not one of those people,
Yeah.
dude. Like I got to be on point when I'm doing this. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like I've had to put a lot of work in and everything. And I'd like to say like I have a natural talent too, but
Definitely.
can't
Yeah.
ignore like how many times I've hiked a rail or tried so many things like until they're telling us, you know, to get off the mountain or, you know, it's dark at the skate park. It's like, yeah, I've put in so much time into this. And I'm not going to I'm hopefully not going to let anything get in the way of that. You know, it's kind of the way I look at it nowadays.
I mean, I would say, you know, your results speak for themselves, though. You know what I mean? Like, look at where you're at, man. Like, look at what you've accomplished. It's not to be underlooked by any means. Like, you have obviously put in the time because of the results that you're getting, coming from where you come from too. Like that itself too, like cannot be underlooked. You're coming from Spokane, Washington. Like, yeah, we got some cool little mountains around here, but it's nothing like Salt Lake. It's nothing like Cali, Northern Cali. It's nothing like even Denver area, you know, and these places where like you go to those mountains, it's crazy what they got going on. And to see like somebody with like this passion, like I'm gonna make it from here, stay based out of here too, which dog, I admire that. Like that's really making another larger statement. Like, cause you get to travel, and I think that's a great thing. Like one thing I always say about Spokane is it's cool to be here. It's not good to be stuck here though.
Agreed.
You know, like it's cool to come back and check in, and you can chill out here a little bit more. You got some options that you obviously have made work for you though too. You know, it is more about your resourcefulness compared to the resources here. Like you're a resourceful individual because you go and see things and make it happen, or you're going the mission to get in, you know, better laps over there than are offered here right now. So like your dedication to like making it is really apparent, dog. Like,
Well, thank you, man. It means a
yes.
lot. It's like, it's been a hard road for sure. But I mean, a big reason, like, I'm traveling all over the place. I moved out of Spokane when I was like 19. But I want to show the younger generation here, like, that you can do it out of here, you know? And I think it takes, you know, the community to like change the way people look at Spokane, even like what you're doing with city chapters, you know, and getting all these like-minded people together, you know, like people have been hating on Spokane for a long time, but it's like, yo, we can change that, you know? It's like people leave, you know, and go off to do, you know, whatever, which, you know, no hate on that. But I think if we want to change the community, like it has a lot of potential to be like a really cool place, you know? And then those maybe Mount Spokane and all these local mountains can, you know, in the snowboarding aspect at least, you know, start to develop better parks and everything, you know, like you're seeing that at Mount Spokane right now, which I think is like really sick to see.
Yeah. I went by Schweitzer's Park this year, and like one section of it, I'm like, why?
Yeah,
Why?
I mean,
Who's hitting that? Like, we don't got people even. You got this stuff. Where's the middle, man? Like,
yeah,
and that's
yeah. Schweitzer used to be. That's
it
where
used
I
to be
rode
prime,
when I
dude.
was coming up.
too. Yeah, I loved it there. Now it's
One of my really good friends that I grew up snowboarding with, him and his brother, they are from Sandpoint, and so we ran up at Schweitzer all day, and the park was something else.
used to be real nice, man.
I don't know what happened, but hopefully, no hate on you guys. The
Yeah, no
mountain's
hate,
amazing, but it could be better.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to like jump back to not being denied and that mentality. Do you think like telling yourself that also helps you remove any doubt? Because like when doubt creeps in and you let it take control, it can spiral. But when you tell yourself like, no, I'm not gonna be denied, it's like removing that doubt. So do you deal with doubt a lot, or have you mastered your mind to a place now where it's really pretty minimal and you're just on that constant track of have been telling yourself I won't be denied, that you just keep pressing forward with confidence? Or how do you deal with that in this competitive sport that you're in?
I mean, I wish I could say I didn't have any doubt, but it's just something that I think like with life, it's just all a wave, at least that's the way I see it. There's ups and downs with everything.
The wave, yeah.
A lot of the times in the winter, I'm like super confident. I've been on my board a lot and everything, but at times I am, I don't know. Maybe you wake up and you're just not feeling it.
Yeah.
It's like I think we all have those off days and everything, and it's been a long journey for me. So there has been a lot of doubts on the way, But at the end of the day, I think it's like my family and, my girlfriend is Jamie. She's helped me out with like so much, staying on the right track and like being confident and, trying to point out to me like how much I've grown in the, let's say 10 years or so. Like I look back when I was 17 and I'm like, I was a mess, dude. So it's like, I think, telling yourself like really positive things definitely helps with that. But not to say that the doubts, or the unpleasant thoughts don't creep in every now and again, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, if there is somebody out there that has their mind that trained, that's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's possible. I don't even.
Let me know, please.
Yeah, but so I deal with a lot of doubt every single day. It's trying to berate me, and something that I've learned that helps me in training my mind is just like constant affirmations. Like when a doubt creeps in or a negative thought, it's just like I'm strong. Like whatever it is that I got to tell myself to get my mind off of that thought and just to get my mind on something positive. And like I've been trying to practice this over years, and I'd be on and off, but I'm getting to a place where I'm so consistent now that it really helps. And like that's like one thing that helps me, is like, some people might think of this like, oh, I'm not going to be denied, as arrogance, but it's just a confirmation of belief in self. And that's confidence. Like I'm not going to be denied. I got what it takes. And like to do anything great, to do what you do, to do what I do, to do anything where you're attempting to do something unique or do something special at a high level, art, whatever, like you have to have that ultimate confidence in what you're doing, because if you don't, like, you will lose to the doubt. You will lose to the lies of you're not good enough. And I think that's really like, like people think it's cliche, like it's, it's difficult to become successful. It's really hard, but like, no, it's really hard. Like, and most people can't go through the doubt and the crazy shit that goes through your mind when you're trying to become something that you aspire to be. Like, it's easier not to go through it. It's easier to just not try because the mind wants to be comfortable. And when you're attempting to become great at something, the mind gets super uncomfortable with it because it doesn't want you to do that. Your higher self wants you to do that, but your body, your physical mind does not want it, because it's either dangerous, it feels insecure, it doesn't know what's going to happen, the potential of failure, embarrassment, all these different things that'll try to prevent you and talk you out of becoming that. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think a lot of athletes too, like if you're trying, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever, skiing, skateboarding, like at the end of the day, I'm not out here telling everybody that I'm going to be the best or anything, they're like, yeah. I want to stay humble and everything, but mentally, I do think people that are going to make it and everything tell themselves that they are going to be one of the best, like if I was over here like, oh, I want to be like one of the best 20 snowboarders or whatever. It'd be like, nah, like I'm trying to be the best, dude. At least that's like what I try and tell myself, to like maybe go and learn this new trick, like,
Yeah.
yo, if you want to be the best, stop being a pussy and go and do this, or
Right.
like,
Yeah.
go back to the gym and like go bust your ass, like that's what it takes at the end of the day.
All right, this is good. I got something for this that I've been thinking of. So you're talking about doing the hard shit, not avoiding the hard shit.
Yeah, I think you gotta. I heard something recently that like you want to be in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, like if you live life and you're comfortable all the time, like that's kind of like a middle ground life. Like I'm looking for the highest highs, and that's gonna bring the lowest lows too. And
That's real.
you gotta be okay with that.
Yeah.
That's the risk that comes with all of this.
Do you so something that I kind of realized lately from myself is like, I want things to be easy. I want success to be easy. Like I know it's not. I've been told all my life it's not. You know, you think that because you start something or you're doing something that it should be enough, or like this sense of maybe even entitlement that can come along with, well, I'm trying. Why are things not working out? You're not trying hard enough, because that's ultimately what it comes down to, like what it takes and how hard it is to overcome your demons, your doubt, whatever it is. It's the real work. It's the real work, and I don't think a lot of people choose to take that path, and I can understand why, because it's broken me many times.
Me too, dude.
Many,
Me too.
many times, and I'm just stubborn and resilient. Like I believe that I have it within me, and I haven't unlocked that potential yet. I've seen glimpses of it that give me hope, and I know it's residing in me. So I keep on trying over and over again, and but one thing that I realized is like somewhere along the way, I believed that, oh, if I do these things, like I'm gonna get results. That's gonna be it. That's gonna get me to this level. And once I get to that level, then life's gonna be better. I'm gonna be more happy. I'm gonna whatever, right? All these things that you think you can fix life almost, or like you can like take control of life. And I think in certain aspects you can kind of curate it, but you can't control it. You know what I mean? You can curate and kind of help your projection of what's going to happen to you in life, but there's ultimately things you cannot control and can't see coming. So there was this attachment that I had to results. Like, oh, if I do these things, I'm going to get these things. I deserve these things if I do these things, basically. This entitlement. Like, oh, because if I do X, Y, and Z, then I deserve to have these things. That's not how it worked out, And so I realized that I started avoiding doing the hard things, like simple disciplines that really are what you need to enact to have success in whatever you do. I tried to barter with life about like, oh, I could work at my own hours. I can wake up when I want to because I'm self-employed. I can, really, I started lying to myself. My mind started lying to myself about these things that I didn't have to do, that really inherently deep down I did know needed to be done. And I got soft with it. And so I came back to this realization lately, like, and I've heard it before, but I don't know, I've kind of adapted it in a different way for myself. Is like, dude, you just need to do the hard things that you know you need to do, and you cannot have attachment to specific results. You're going to get results by doing the hard things, but trying to have this specific attachment to what needs to happen needs to go away. Because when you like try to, for me, like when you try to think about what needs to happen and it doesn't go that exact way, then you feel like you failed, then like it's not working out and you
That's
give
where the
up.
doubts creep in.
Right, doubt comes in, right? Because you told yourself, I'll do these things, I'll get these things. Now, if you, for me, look at it like, if I do these things, this is what I'm supposed to do, and whatever comes from that, cool. But I don't have to have anything specific from these disciplines that I enact, because these are simply just what I should be doing. And that alone is the reason that I'm going to be doing them, not because I want to be famous or because I want to be successful or because whatever. Ultimately, if you enact these disciplines, you're probably going to find yourself in a way better place.
100%.
But if you're attached to certain results and it doesn't work out, you just give up on them. Like, why am I doing this hard shit? Because I'm not getting what I wanted. You think you know what you want, but like life always isn't going to deliver it to you in that way. Or, it could just come to you differently. But
I agree. I mean, I think a lot of us, have really selfish tendencies too, is kind of including myself, what I've kind of been realizing lately, like, oh, you want something so bad, you put everything else, you put you in front of everything else, and you start to look at it from an outside perspective, and it's like, I'm so consumed in what I'm doing, like, I'm not even thinking about all these other people. Or, you look at other people that are successful and you're like, I've done all the work, like, why aren't I in there? And it's like,
yeah,
at the end of the day, we really don't know how hard people work to get where they are, I think. And I think a lot of people that are successful in their businesses and careers, behind the curtain, they're busting their ass, They're like Joel, I thought was super inspiring. He gets up at 4 or 5 every day, goes and works out before his family wakes up, before everybody's at work. And I'm like, then he's busting ass at work, and they work for a great company, and what he's done is awesome. But still, at the end of the day, like, he is working so hard, dude. And
he's
it's
an
like,
animal.
I'm trying to enact that. Like, I want to, like, I don't know how I'm gonna, make that happen for myself, but it's like, I'm trying to, like, bust ass and make it happen. It's like, that is what it takes at the end of the day.
Yeah, it takes, man, it takes a lot of self-talk to get yourself built up back to a place where you can even really start implementing those disciplines too. Like, I've been wanting to get up early for a long time since I started my companies, and I've been failing miserably at it. But over the last within this year, I've been starting to, but within the last few weeks, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. I actually worked out with Joel early on Monday before everything started. Me and him got it in. And I'm like, this is where the difference is made. And you hear this stuff, but there's something in our mind that wants to reject it, because how uncomfortable it's going to be to get up that early. I love sleep, dude. I could sleep 10, 12 hours
Me
every
too.
day, like no problem. But I lose out on so much. And you hear that, like, oh, the more you're sleeping, your competition's out there getting it. And I don't really look at it like that. But what I do look at is the more that I sleep, the more that I'm missing on what I could accomplish. And I've let so much time slip me by. I'm 34. I'm thinking like 6 years. I'm 40, bro. Like, what happened? And what's going to happen in the next 6 years? Am I going to wake up in 6 years and still be struggling with these same things and really just getting mediocre results and not really executing on this gift that I have of city chapters and these different things? Like, am I going to wake up and still be mediocre at 40 when I thought I was born for greatness? I can't accept that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And so,
I think it's up to us to make that difference.
yep,
Like we're saying,
yep.
it's like, wake up, like, put yourself in that uncomfortable situation.
I'm reading a good book. I don't know if you read much. I read quite a bit.
Trying to get into reading more. I'm so bad about it.
It's
but
hard, man.
That's
Yeah,
something
me
I'm
too.
trying to get into my life too, that I think will, it's about taking those little steps,
Yeah. Audiobooks kind of work for me, but and I listen to those, but reading a physical book, even if it's just 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, But anyway, the book is the 5 a.m. Club. It's about getting up at 5 a.m. and the importance of it. And it gives you like, a routine that you should enact every morning. They have a 20-20-20 formula. It's 20 minutes when you wake up of physical activity and you need a sweat. And then it's 20 minutes meditation, journaling, and 20 minutes of reading audiobooks, whatever. But getting up and just working out that first 20 minutes is like wakes your body up, releases the chemicals that are needed to, carry you through a day in a healthy way. And dude, I've been rejecting mentally getting up early for so long, though I've known deep down it's what I need to do to access a higher level of greatness within me, because I want to be comfortable. I want it to be easy, man. It comes back to that. And it's like, dog, waking up at 5 a.m. is I fucking hate it.
It sucks.
But that's what I got to do. And I know if I do it, that I'll be in position for better things. I'll be able to accomplish more. And so if it's really important to me, I'm like, then I have to do it, man. And, there's some mornings I've been failing. It's like 6, 7 o'clock, instead of the 5. But I've been getting better at it, And I honestly, dude, I'm like, I see the habit forming more than it ever has, because I'm getting up, I'm going to the gym, I'm getting the day started. And anyhow,
I think you start to realize that you're feeling good too when you're putting like, obviously it's uncomfortable, but after you get through that, it's like something else, it's just like a clarity in your mind or something, it's like, I mean, I don't know, it's something I'm trying to work on too. Like, I normally wake up at 7 the last few weeks. I could probably wake up earlier, but it's like, something too, I think takes small steps to get there, A lot of us, I think, are like, okay, like, I need to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. If I don't, like, it's a failure, It's like you said, like, you've been waking up at 5, there's a couple days here and there that you're not, but like, you're still setting yourself up in that position, and, you're making those little steps. So, maybe when you look back, fast forward a year, you're going to be on that grind, and it's like, it might have started a little bit slower than we all think, but look at where you've gotten now. Yeah. Hopefully, at least.
Right. Yeah, I just tying back more, into you. It's just like that. Discipline is. I feel like it's honestly like such a underlooked thing now more than ever. Like, people just kind of, we're trained by social media and what we see, like, oh, you can have success, it's there, all these people have it,
it looks easy,
you should
on
be
the
able
internet.
to have it. Yeah, look how, and it's something that I really love talking about is the truth that I feel is the truth. It's hard, yo. It'll break you. And like,
I mean, I think it's hard. I like battle tricks for hours sometimes. I had a spot this winter. I think we got there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We didn't leave the spot until 4. It was getting dark. I had, 3 tries left. I ended up walking like 8 miles that day on one staircase. I am like
taking slams.
I'm taking slams. Yeah. I'm getting pissed. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's that discipline to keep trying and just hope for the best that like it's gonna work out. End of the day, I got the clip. High five my homie, laid down in the snow. And then I was like, wow, that was like, that's just one of the battles. Like, there's so many. Snowboarding has taught me all of those aspects that are the same in normal life. It's that discipline, It's like, damn, I can't believe I just walked 8 miles trying this trick on this kink rail. Like what am I doing, But it's like, that's super uncomfortable, but it's like, I'm so hyped to do it. And at the end of the day, I feel great about it.
Yeah, taking slams and snowboarding is such a great analogy for life. Because life is going to mollywop you. It's going to slam you. And are you going to keep getting up and keep trying for what it is you want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the inner workings of the mystical essence of our planet, but it really does feel like sometimes like there are things out there that are really trying to stop you from what you want to do. And it's really like whether it's testing you to prove, do you really want this? You know, because it could be something that you think, oh, this is going to be easy. It don't turn out easy.
It's never that
Like as
easy.
soon as you think like you're going to go do something that you think is easy, a lot of times it can turn out to be harder than what you thought, you know? And
I agree. I mean, a lot of people that I interact with, and like I like to say the normal world, because I'm like in the snowboarding world,
Yeah.
8 months out of the year.
yeah.
But like I had to buy a new car this year, and the guy I bought it from, he's like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I snowboard for a living." And he's like, "Wow, that must be really nice." And I'm like, I was like, I still think about this all the time. I'm like, I don't think people really have any idea how much work a sport or anything like that takes. Like, yeah, you look at me, like I take 7 months off of the year, but it's like mentally so draining compared to anything I've ever done. It's physically like the most insane thing I've ever done nowadays. And I'm like, dude, if I didn't have the drive and dedication, I would be nowhere near where I thought. Maybe it was easy when I was 10 years old. I was like, oh, being a pro snowboarder, that'll be easy. Like,
Yeah.
it's not easy at the end of
Yeah.
the day. It's mentally like
we
very
get to
taxing.
see like the cool accomplishments and the hype that surrounds your name, and you get to hear about that. But yeah, we don't, and people don't know like the real work that goes on in the mind to accomplish and keep going and taking slams and not getting the trick. And some days you don't get it at
don't
all.
always get it,
Like you have to walk away. And
It's
yes,
tough. I mean, I've been battling tricks. This was a skateboard trick, but like I've been trying this trick for like 2 years. Every time I go to the skate park or whatever, like I try it. I finally landed it the other day, and I was like,
you posted that, right?
yeah, it
I
was the
seen
front
that.
blunt backside flip, which is just, it felt so good. I was like,
yeah.
man, all this hard work, like it finally paid off. Like that's what it's all about, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like all the boys are hyped, and it's like, dude, it's so sick.
So cool, man. Like, yeah, all the pain you go through can feel worth it in that moment of accomplishment, like getting done what you wanted in your mind. Like you set your mind's eye on something, and sometimes getting to it seems impossible. Sometimes.
There's stuff that I set up snowboarding, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, like, but you just gotta try at least,
Yeah,
It's
you gotta go for it, man.
gotta tell yourself that you can do it, and like hopefully it works out for the best. It's just like as with anything in life, a lot of the times when you're starting something, it's like there's so much footwork to do. But, one step at a time, you're getting closer to the end result that you want to see, But like we've been saying, like, can't be skipping all the difficult steps either, Some days you're going to have to go through the hardest thing, But that's what makes life great, too.
Yeah. Yeah, no shortcuts, that's for sure. That's something I've had to learn. Like, every step is important, and you shouldn't skip steps, and that comes with learning patience. It's something I've had a hard time with. Now I've starting to learn it a lot more, and being able to implement patience in my life way better than I used to be able to. And one thing that's helped me is just like moving in slow motion. Even when I like snowboard or play soccer, work on different, projects out at the cabin, like moving slowly through it and thinking slowly through it. As soon as I start being like forceful or agitated, or everything starts falling apart, And so
Patience is key, I think. That's
Yeah.
something I've like really been working on the last couple of years, and it's helped me with snowboarding, but also everything in life for sure.
Right.
And I still got a lot of work to go, but it's
Me
nice
too.
to see some progress for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Was or when was there a specific moment you realized like, oh, my dream of becoming a pro snowboarder is gonna happen? Was there a specific moment that like kind of defined the the shifting point?
Yeah, I think really the paper tiger years when it really set in. So that
Yeah.
was 3 years ago now, and I was filming with my friend Jake a little bit. Shout out to him. He helped me so much. But I was like looking at, kind of what we were doing, and I was like, yo, I like want to do something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit up my team manager at Capita, and he's the man. I was like, yo, I just like see myself like going in a different direction. Like I want, like, what do you want to see? And he's like, I'm not sure. Like it was right when COVID hit, budgets are getting cut. My budget got cut. I'm like, it came really real. I was like, maybe this isn't, maybe, I'll snowboard for fun, but like maybe this isn't actually going to be my career.
Mm.
And then, but I had a bunch of money saved up, so I was like, yo, I'm just going to start traveling around. I bought this Ford Ranger
Mm-hmm.
because my car was a piece of shit before that I did not respect at all. So I was like, all right, I got to get a better car, get more mobile. Went down really early season to Salt Lake. One of my really good friends now, Brendan, Reggie, he runs the Capita Instagram. I was like, yo, I want to
Did
link
I
up.
meet him at the shop?
Yep. Yeah, that's who
Okay.
was there with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Which he's never been to Spokane, so like it was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Sick to show him like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, PNW office is insane, dude.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really cool.
but anyway, I linked up with him and I was like, yo, I just want to film some stuff. Like, I don't really know what I'm going to do this year. And I was just trying to like get my name out there more. And then I think we had a great time, stayed at his house in Salt Lake. Week later, maybe a couple weeks, I get a FaceTime call from my team manager, which I've never gotten before. I was like, yo, I was mad nervous. I was like, I don't even want to answer the phone. Like, what's he going to say?
Yeah.
And then gave me the opportunity to go film with Mike Rav and Johnny and Skylar Lars, who put it all together, Skylar Brandt. And he was like, yo, you want to go to Iowa for 2 weeks and, try and go film some stuff for this project? And he was like, we'll fly you out there, like give you some help. A month later, they took my budget away, and I was like, man, like, this is rough. But that's how it is,
So they were like, you can still go, but you got to pay for it.
No.
Or?
So basically, I mean, yeah, like anything, like the year before they gave me a little bit of help. COVID hit, they cut all the budgets,
Right,
Like
yeah.
I wasn't like on the actual team yet. I would be considered like a flow kid. Like I was getting a little bit
like
of help.
AM, basically.
Yeah, like I'm still technically on the AM team for Capita.
Okay.
But they give me a lot of help, which is
Right, yeah.
super, awesome. But
Yeah.
they hit me up and, he was like, we'll fly you out there, food's covered, everything. Like, don't worry about it. I was like, yo, let's do this. And then, 2 days later, I'm flying to Iowa to go link up with these dudes. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Does Iowa have like crazy street
Yeah,
riding?
dude.
Is that why?
Actually, I really want to go back, dude.
Yeah.
Iowa is low key really dope.
Yeah, because to me, I'm not a. I've never been in the street riding too much. I'm like, Iowa, like it must be. But
Yeah,
I've
that's what-
seen the clip. I've seen your part, obviously, and
That's
is
what I
sick.
said too. I was like, yo, Iowa. I was like, all right, let's go,
Iowa's
let's go
got it
scope it. I
going,
got
yeah.
trust in these dudes.
Of course.
So I was like, all right, this is my opportunity. Like, I got to show the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go shovel my ass off for these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go try and get as many clips as possible. Like, I want to hang out with these dudes. Like, I had met both of them before, but, it's two professional snowboarders that I really looked up to. And I'm like, all right, like, this is my opportunity, and I cannot fall back on this. Like, I got to show up. 2 weeks, it was like one of the sickest trips I've ever had. And basically, I get home and I get a call from my team manager, and he's like, all right, they want you to come on every single trip this year. Like, I just watched all your footage. They were like, you just snapped on this opportunity. Obviously, that's what we were hoping would happen, but like, you know, we're going to send you on for the rest of the year to go film. And I was like, you know, that's when I signed my first contract that year.
Wow.
For that, and they gave me support and a travel budget and everything, and I was like, all right, like this is it.
Now
you
it's
know?
official. It's like travel budget.
Yeah, you know, and you know, nowadays,
Sick.
like just living life, like that's you know how the winter I survive is you know the money. I guess it's kind of a job, but it's like, yeah, that was the moment after that trip. It was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do.
Wow.
And ever since then, it's like just don't let off the gas, dude. Like
Yeah.
any trip I go on, dude, same mentality. Show up for your homies that are there. Shovel for them, because when I'm trying to get a clip, you know, if a landing's messed up, I'm like trying to focus on what I'm doing. You know, it's all a team effort of how the crew is going to work. You know, if I get a clip, everybody gets a clip. If my homie gets a clip, it's like I got a clip, dude. We're all celebrating. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's what I love about snowboarding and that aspect is like, you know, like everybody's so hyped when the other homie does something crazy. Like it's like, oh man, like it just only brings you up, you know what I mean? Like, so that is really cool to know that was your moment. I mean, Paper Tiger, what a gangster name for a film, you know what I mean?
So sick.
And your opening part with Mainline from Craig Mack, like it just goes hard, man.
Banger song. Shout out to Skylar, the filmer and the editor, which he's so sick. But I had full trust. I was like, yo, just I don't even want any input. Like you're so good at what you do.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even watch my part until the premiere came out, dude.
For real?
I heard on the bomb hole somebody was like, you know, imagine you walk into the premiere, like you filmed all this stuff. Like I have no idea what the song is gonna be, you know, anything.
Dang.
I haven't seen it, dude. It was such a surreal moment, like being at that premiere and having everybody in Salt Lake in the snowboard community go there. And I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. Like this is what it's about. Like getting the community together and like, you
What
know.
was that feeling like in that premiere?
Yo, it was crazy, dude, and it was really cool because my girlfriend Jamie and we got to go down together. We drove down there and got a little Airbnb. It was kind of like a little vacation for us, but it was insane. Like walking to the theater, they got the Paper Tiger, you know, on the name thing or whatever it's called, and she
Marquee?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
I think it's the Marquee.
I always look at the Garland one, you know, what they got playing on. It's like seeing that. It's like Paper Tiger, but the Salt Lake version. And she took a photo of me, dude. I'm like, cheesing so hard, dude. It was like insane moment. And to see all these people show up, you know, to watch like what you've been busting ass all year. And, you know, and to see everybody so hyped, it's like, surreal feeling, dude. It's such a high. It's like it was really cool.
Dang, that's gotta be surreal almost, and like I'm sure to like just be in the room with all these people you look up to that are just straight rippers, like coming to your premiere, and you got opening part too, like.
People that I'd never even thought I would talk to, you know, or like saying like, yo, your part was sick. I'm like, yo, I've been looking up to you for 10 years. Like, this is insane, man.
Dude,
like,
man.
And to be a part with, you know, Mike Rav and Johnny O'Connor, it was like, dude, I've been looking up to them.
Dog, I'm just excited to know somebody that's in that world doing that, bro. Like just to know you and sit and hear about you going into this and doing that and having that experience just makes me like so happy, dog. Like that's like shit. Like I'm like I dream of like another life, man. If you would have been smarter when you were younger and you put in like maybe, you know what I mean? Probably not, but maybe, you know, I'll never know, and that's okay. But just to like know like you've had that experience, man, something that I think about, like what it would have been like to potentially become a pro snowboarder, like just to know somebody that's actually living that out, because you don't get to meet many pro snowboarders around here, man. You know, it's so cool to hear about that. Like,
Yeah, thank you, man. It means a lot, and it's like
it's huge, man.
it's cool, man. It's
And another thing I
crazy.
wanted to say too was like, you were prepared, bro. You were prepared for the opportunity. Like
That's
you were prepared. Like you got this opportunity and you were ready. You seized it, man. A lot of people think they're ready and they can't seize on it because they haven't done the work. But you know, obviously you did the work. The results show, and how you showed up. Like your mentality of like, yo, this is my opportunity. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna do the extra work beyond just getting good clips and writing. Like you weren't even thinking about just your writing. You're thinking about full aspect of what it takes to be a part of a film crew and be a part of this whole process. And you went and did the work. And you know, like you're easy to be around too. You know what I'm saying? So like that all plays into the facet of why those guys probably like, yo, Viz is on point, dog. Like we want him around. You know what I mean? And so like, good job, bro.
Yo, thank
like,
you, man. It
good
means
job,
a lot.
man.
I mean, I tell that, I got a homie, shout out, his name's Owen,
I know Lil Owen.
8-ounce juice box on Instagram.
Kid's nasty.
Yeah, he's sick, dude. I'm like, yo, this is my little prodigy, dude.
Yeah,
like,
for
I've been
real.
taking
That's
this
how I've
fool
been
up.
seeing it with you guys. I'm like, oh, it's, yeah.
Shout out to his dad too, Jason.
Yeah.
The Kleins are the sickest. But he had me taking Owen and his brother Wyatt up to the mountain, and he's like, yo, go coach them, or whatever, like have a good day,
Mm-hmm.
It was so sick, and to see Owen develop to where he is now, and he's like starting to get on the capita program, he's getting hooked up by 32. I'm like, yo, like it makes me so happy that I'm able to, give him that opportunity, telling the people that sponsor me, being like, yo, look out for this kid, like this kid's on point too, like.
Didn't he win something at the bomb hole competition too? Like,
Yeah, dude.
The vintage song?
Vintage race.
Yeah.
Which some heavy hitters, Scott Blum and Bodie, were on the podium with him.
Yeah.
And then they called Juice, Owen Klein. I'm like, yo, like. And then, like, I had just met Scott Blum when we were at Mammoth for that 32 spot check.
Yeah.
And he's like, who is this little fucker? Like, beat me? And I'm like, yo, that's my homie, dude.
Yeah,
He was hyped, dude. He's like,
oh, that's so cool.
Sick, dude.
Owen, like, worked at the Great P&W factory, and I had met his dad a couple times, and they're like, yeah, Owen snowboards, and I knew his dad used to own Local 77, whatnot.
Yep.
I was like, oh, yeah, dope, man. Like, like, oh, we should ride sometime, whatever. And, I knew homie rode, you know what I mean? Like, get down. Then I saw his clips. I was like, oh, this little kid actually, he rides. Like,
he's a beast.
I didn't know he was on that level. Like, damn, I don't know if I can ride with him. You know what I mean? I mean, I can get down, but little homie he's going, bro. Like,
Yeah,
and it's so cool to see him at that young age. And like, you're already getting the results of what you want to see in the future, dog. Like, because the future is now, really. It's not even the future. Like, you're already paying it forward to Owen and giving him the trajectory to get to where you are and maybe further. Who knows where little dude could go?
I
know what I'm saying?
I hope
like,
he even just blows me out of the water, bro.
It's
like,
so cool,
and it
man.
keeps me motivated too, because I'm like, yo, homie's learning all these tricks. I'm like,
yeah,
shit, I better go.
pushes you.
I better go
Yeah.
learn some new shit, dude.
And there's nothing like that friendly competition in snowboarding, like, because it's all love, but at the same time, it's like, I gotta push harder, like. So it's.
And he's got a homie too. My friend too. I hang out with this kid a lot too. His name's Ryan Clark, and it's like him and Owen ride together, and it's like Ryan started a little later, but like seeing like the friendly competition between them two, and like I'm like, yo, these kids are so sick, dude.
And they're right at that age I was talking about, that prime age where it's like that moment to go seize it. And I think coming from Spokane, you have to do those right things to put yourself in position to become the pro, and that's working out at Mission or whatever Owen's doing, traveling down to the bomb hole competition, and like going with you to things that he can and all that. And that's huge, man. It really sets him up for a good chance at having something serious in the snowboarding career.
Definitely. I mean, you got to put in the most when you're from a smaller town like Spokane. You got to have the funds to travel, before you get the support.
It's important to have somebody that has shown it's possible what you've done, man. Like, that can not be underlooked. I mean, who knows what can happen from here with you guys going on and doing what you do in the snowboard world, and other kids from here knowing like, hey, these guys are from here, and like we said off camera, me and Austin and Joel, we're talking about some things to get things going better locally, to give more highlight and show kids like, yo, you can have a career in this world.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about just trying to show like the younger generation that, you can do this. And also, how do we get more people into snowboarding, that maybe would never look at it? Or like, how do we show, the passion we have for something like this? And, on kids that, can't afford it or whatever, in bad situations, like maybe this can be their outlet, how it was, my outlet, or, any of ours, it's like, snowboarding has helped me so much learn all these life lessons and be disciplined and everything, and it's like I want to show that love to everybody, that wants to be about it.
Yeah, and it's for me, man. There is nothing like snowboarding. There's nothing.
I agree, dude.
Like I just can't think of anything that I find to be so peaceful. It's not peaceful, but it's when I snowboard, I do not think of anything in my life.
I think
I'm in the moment.
We're
right?
very present when we're at the
presence. That's it. It's what brings me the most presence. I am only in that zone on my snowboard, thinking about the snow, thinking about where I'm going, thinking about what I'm gonna do next for a trick. Like, it's only right then and there. Like, everything seems to wash away when I go to the mountain. It comes back once you leave. But when you up there, you get that break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
facts.
When you're up there, it goes away for that time. You get that break, and that break became very sacred to me. And that's how I really look at snowboarding a lot now, is like, it's sacred in a way. And I'm glad that I found that again, because like I said, I had that love growing up, then I lost it, and to find it again, my appreciation for it is so much deeper than it used to be, because I was a young kid at that time. I probably didn't appreciate much at that time, but now, like,
none of us do.
Now, yeah, right. Now, like, the gratitude that I have for snowboarding and how it really helps me get through winters, like, without snowboarding out here, I don't know what I would do. But with it, it's like I love winters. Like, I've already been like counting down. I'm like, we're almost back to season, man.
Shit, we're
like,
getting there. I think a lot of people too, like, you live in somewhere that's cold, you're like, yo, I hate the winter.
Yep.
It's like, it gives you, and whether that be skiing or snowboarding, like, just getting up to the mountain, it's like, gives you something to look forward to, and it's like, and too, like, if you want to be a ski bum, hustle all summer, bust your ass, save 10 grand or whatever. Like, set yourself a goal and be like, all right, I'm just going to ski or snowboard every day, and I'm going to drive up to Mount Spokane every day. Or
Rosman did that for a long time too. And like, he was a big name, has been for a while, but to know that he was, you think some of these guys like, oh, they making crazy money. Not a lot of them are, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're doing your X Games and you're winning and all in that crazy kind of like circuit tour, which I actually have a curious question on that. Are you like, because like they talk about it on the bomb hole being anti, these competitions in certain aspects because it's taken away from like the true essence of maybe snowboarding or whatever. But how, like, what is, where do you think your style is within snowboarding? Like, how do you think of your essence of snowboarding in as a whole? It doesn't seem like you're really probably trying to pursue competition as much as you are trying to pursue more like art. Like, it seems like you're more pursuing like the art of snowboarding and
For
like
sure.
street art, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
look at it as like a way to express myself, and I
Yeah.
think people that do contests are on that same vibe too.
Definitely.
We're all just different people. But the
Yeah.
way I look at it for myself is like, this is the way I express myself, and it is like an art form, It's like
Mm.
we all have our own individual styles. The way I see myself is just trying to be like flowy and in the moment when I'm snowboarding, and
Yeah.
like just doing whatever feels good that day, It's like
Mm.
I love just filming clips with the homies. It's like we always call it clip high, It's like
Mm.
if I film a clip, of, like let's say Jack, it's like, yo, and if I lace the shot, I'm like just as hyped as him. I'm like,
It's
yo,
so
I
true.
I
Yeah.
filmed this, like you're gonna be hyped. Like
You
your
get that
trick
right
might have been sick,
angle.
but check out
Yeah.
my angle that I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
So,
So true.
I think to me it's an art form, and that's how I'm trying to
I
show
started getting
myself.
clip highs this winter because I was like, you know, man, like, you know, I'm decent. I'm a decent rider. I can get down and huck some things, you know, and I was like, you know, I feel like I'm at a level where I want to share some of this. You know what I'm saying? And there is something that just brings a higher um, a higher dynamic when you're recording, you know, and getting the biggest thing for me too that I realize about recording myself is watching me after, dude.
100%.
Like I have no intentions of being a pro, you know, but I do have intentions of bettering my craft within snowboarding. And I realized I was doing so many things I did not even know I was doing in the air. You know, like trying to fly away and all the, you know, rolling the windows down,
Yeah, for
all
sure.
these things. Like, I'm like, my arms move like that? Like, oh, that looks terrible. Like, gotta fix that, you know? And so, like, over this winter, like, I really got my arms to be like, you know, in and like secured and not like flailing around. I'm like, it feels so much better and in control, you know? And it's like, I would have probably never mastered those things if I wasn't trying to get clips, you know?
For
And
sure.
so it's been cool recording my brother or recording other people and also getting recorded and getting those clips. But
I mean, I think at the end of the day, too, it's like in a clip, it's like a memory, I got all these clips on my phone of the homies, myself, like my, Instagram's full of all these clips, it's something for me to look back on and, really appreciate it at the end of the day. Like maybe when I'm 50 years old, I'm going to look back and be like, damn, we were having a good time back then. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
still going to be doing that when I'm 50,
yeah,
I might be more backcountry guy, but
yeah,
like, yo, like, it's just
yeah.
it's a good time to remember, and I
It's true.
think that's one of the biggest things too, is like,
You're right. I was watching like just some of the clips from this winter a few days ago, and I was just like, the feeling it brought. I was like, I can't wait to get back out there.
me too. I mean, I was just
Yeah.
down in Mount Hood for a week,
Right.
and it was like, yo, I just want it to be winter again. Or like, I don't know, like I love skateboarding, but it's like, yo, like
Yeah.
snowboarding just hits different, dude. Like I don't know what it is, dude.
I don't
The
either.
snow's a little softer too, so
Yeah,
maybe
right.
that's it.
Yeah, there's this something really special about being on a mountain. It's typically where I'm riding, but you know, it's just
Something about being special riding down these hills in Spokane too. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
People are like, yo, what the fuck are these kids doing? They're grinding our rails. Like, we're just like pissing people off. Like, sorry to all these business owners, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's just what we love to do. No disrespect.
yeah. Hey, you know, like, you're gonna have to give Viz the green pass. Let him do what he's got to do right now.
Yeah,
Man.
give me a key to the city. Come
Yeah.
on, dude. I'm trying to get on some of these buildings.
Yeah, yeah. Where you at, Mayor? Let's get that key to the city to Austin. And I had a question like, who was your biggest inspiration? Who are some of your favorite riders growing up?
Yo, I mean, I had the dude. First of all, my homie, his name's Kix Camp. His brother Dash Camp, one of my biggest inspirations for his brother and I, dude. Like, he was like, I think he's only like 2 or 3 years older than us, but this dude had the style. Like, that's where I like looked. I'm like, yo, this is how I want to look on a snowboard. Like maybe I'll try and put it in my own way, but like this dude, his name's Dash Camp. So sick, dude.
From Spokane?
They live in Sandpoint. They're from Sandpoint, so
Okay.
local kids, dude. Yeah. And like Dash, he was so incredible, dude. And they're like more backcountry driven now, and they're incredible to watch snowboard. So he was, one of both of our biggest inspirations. But outside of that, from like a professional level, like my dad got me this Tech 9 video for, Tech 9's not really a thing anymore, but it was this video called Cold World. And this dude, Chris Bradshaw, is one of the sickest riders. He was like my huge inspiration too. Like this dude's part, it's like gangster rap, dude. This dude's wearing triple XL pants, fucking giant t-shirts, wide stance. He's hitting rails like how I've never seen anybody. And like he might not be doing the hardest tricks, but damn does it look so sick, dude. And I would rather watch him snowboard than half of these people that are flying, doing 1080s. And then another big inspo, Jeremy Jones, Street Jeremy Jones, who
from Forum.
He's bringing Forum back, which has been really sick to see. And somehow he got invited to come with us on this bomb hole trip last year, and I had never met him before, so I'm like, yo, so nervous, dude. I've been looking up to this dude since I was 10 years old. We get together, dude. It's like, I don't know what it was, but him and I are like homies now, dude. It's like the way he sees snowboarding, I swear, is like kind of the same way I see it.
That's so, man.
Like, we're going to get up early, drive to the spot, set it up, do the shit that we got to do all day. And also, like, when it gets dark, we're probably still going to go and set up more spots. There was this one night, dude, he's towing me in. This dude's like almost 50 years old. He's towing me into a spot.
Yeah.
And he is so fucking hyped, dude. And I'm like, this dude is the truth. Like, no wonder I looked up to him. So it's like, it's crazy to like have it come full circle, have somebody that I looked up to, and it's like now I get to call him my friend, dude. And it's like,
damn. I mean,
it's
Jeremy
crazy.
Jones, like getting to meet your idols, man, and like become friends with them. Yeah, it's cool. Like when sometimes you hear people meet their idols and they're disappointed, but then you hear the stories of like he's everything and like more than what I realized. Like, so man, getting a ride with Jeremy Jones, like,
yo, it was crazy.
Wow.
I mean, there's this clip, he's following me. We're riding down the street and we were like trying to jump over this car. We didn't have enough speed to jump over the car. We both landed on, and I hate to say it, but like we called it our rental car. We landed right on the rental car, dude. Like, fuck. Like, shit was so funny, dude. But it's like watching him ride behind me, and and I'm like, yo, this dude is so sick. Like, and to see his passion still and all the injuries he's been through,
right?
And that at the end of the day, like, he just loves it, dude. And it's like, it's so inspiring for me to look forward to, my career for the next 10, 15
Longevity. years,
and like, he's all into like being healthy and working out and treating your body with respect. And like, that's something that until, the last couple years that I like did not even care about, dude. Like, I'm eating like shit. I'm not stretching. I'm not doing anything for myself. And so it was nice, to be like, yo, it's not bad to take this seriously and just like be your best self.
To take care of yourself. It's not like, It's not weak. It's not, you're not a pussy if you take care of yourself, if you eat good.
Nah.
Like, and somehow that, like, sometimes can, like, seem to creep its way in the culture, that narrative.
Like you're not cool,
yeah,
like you should go and party more or
yeah,
whatever.
like,
And it's
you ain't
like,
gonna drink tonight, or like, whatever the case is, you know. It's cool, man, to have a mentor like that that's like showing you, hey, you know, this is how you have longevity. That's the key. Like, if you love snowboarding, then it's about how long can you keep doing it? What do I have to do to keep doing it? And that's something that I realized for me too. This season, you know, I was feeling when I started again, I'm like, dude, I missed so many years that were prime for me. And you know, the lie of I'm too old now to push myself like I could have when I was younger. And then I was like, that's bullshit. I can go hard, man. I can still get really good at snowboarding. I can still learn new tricks, and I've learned more tricks in the last 3 years than I ever did when I was younger. And mainly because I have a way of thinking through things way differently than when I was younger. So I can visualize how something needs to be done and execute it more accurately now than I used to be able to. I mean, sometimes you know, it goes totally wrong. But more often, I'm able to kind of work it out in my mind and think about my flow of how I want to do it and accomplish it, you know. And so there was a few people that I met this year. One was at my avalanche training. His name's Gary. Gary is a goddamn guru, snow guru. This guy's 70 years old, backcountry, like 3 days minimum a week. And he's from the Schweitzer area. And yeah, this guy, Gary, man, legend. Just straight legend. Like, when I didn't think, I thought he was probably maybe in his early 60s. He's like, no, I'm like 72. And me and my crew got to work with him directly for a few hours. And like, I was just like, man, like, this guy is 70 years old, great health, lively, having fun, loves the snow. That's 35 years for me before I'm even his age. I'm like, yo, man, I got time. I got time, assuming, you know, I get to live that long. And it really helped me like realize, like, it's all right, dog. Like, you still have plenty of time to accomplish a lot within what you want to do and what you want to learn in snowboarding. And the backcountry for me, you know, mainly is where I'm gonna try to put a lot of my energy towards. But
shout out Gary, dude.
yeah,
I hope I meet this dude. He sounds like
I
a
hope
legend.
so too, man. And it was cool after the avalanche course. He was like, yo, you know, you should come out with me and my daughter sometime. I met his daughter in the wilderness first aid class. And I was like, damn, like, this dude sees something in me to invite me out to come with him. And I missed him when I went out with his daughter and JT and some other guys. But I'm like, next season, I'm hitting Gary up. I got his number. I'm trying to link with Gary. You know what I mean? Because this guy he knows the Schweitzer backcountry like the back of his hand, and is just like such a cool dude, man. Like such an inspiration, you know, and just a badass.
It's like, I mean, it's inspiring. It's so inspiring to hear people that are snowboarding like that still, because I mean, I look at myself and I'm like, yeah, man, I've been taking hits for a long time now, and I want to make sure that I can snowboard, you know, when I'm Gary's age, and still be showing people, you know, all these little things. And it's like,
Gary skis, but
that's all right.
But
whatever.
yeah,
same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I just, you know, if Gary listens, but but like, I don't know. It's cool. I've been out with quite a few skiers in the backcountry this last season, and there's no. I don't see that. You know what I mean? It's just riding. I just love people that
Yeah.
love to ride.
I get a ton of inspiration from skiers, dude.
They're
Like
nuts.
watching the way skiers hit rails and the tricks they can do. I mean,
These guys go insane on skis, bro.
exactly. And I think a lot of snowboarders, especially like at the core of snowboarding, like they're like, yo, skiing is whack. And it's like,
I know, yeah.
dude, it's like, man, like we're all up here doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they might be doing it differently, but I'm going to look for them for inspiration too, because
Yeah.
they're probably going to hit something that way differently than I would. And I'm like, yo, damn, maybe I could do that on a snowboard. Like,
Yeah, they
It's
see
sick.
different routes like than you do a lot of times. I picked up that from riding with skiers. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about it like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, some of my best friends are skiers. And it's like,
Yeah.
growing up at Schweitzer too, or like riding there a lot when I was younger, very ski oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they had a sick crew though. It's called the Soul Crew. They made the sickest videos back in the day, and I was like,
Nick Rizzuto and
Yep.
yeah.
there
No,
was
I know.
I'm spacing on a lot of their names, but
Yeah,
dude,
there was a squad of them. And
They're
they were
so
going
sick.
after it, yeah.
and it's like, dude, that's why I started learning so many switch ups and swivels and all this stuff. It's like I was like watching skiers most of the time when I'm on the hill. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and learn this shit too. Like, why can't I do it on a snowboard? You know?
I think some of those people from that crew maybe are in that Potato Boys thing now.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah. They
some
got
of them-
Essex and
Yeah.
Blake Bowerman.
Yeah.
Which I see Blake at the skate park. He just broke his collarbone or something, I think. So haven't seen him in a while, but
Dang.
it's sick to see people like from the mountain at the skate park too and everything.
That's why I want to skate, man. I met a few homies this year at 49 who skate a lot, and you know, a lot of guys at the P&W skate, and I used to skate all summer. And I don't, you know, like I don't really want to push myself too hard in skateboarding. I just want to flow around, get a few grinds, you know, some simple flips in, and just stay in touch with a board throughout the year.
keeps the legs in good shape.
Yeah, it keeps the legs, your stabilizers, all
Unless
that.
you're slamming, you know. So
Last time I skateboarded Mike Miller and them, dude, the next day, like, because I hadn't skateboarded in years before that, and I really haven't skateboarded much since, but I couldn't walk, like, the next day. I'm like, damn, bro, like, my hips are tight.
Yeah, bro.
My legs were so tight. I was like, bro, it is way different being this old skateboarding now, man.
it's something that I've struggled with snowboarding, kind of, you know, taking full force. Like,
Yeah.
if I skate like I snowboard all summer too, like, yo, I am cooked by the next winter, you know. It's like,
So you got to learn to take some break and, like,
yeah,
time
man,
to
which
heal.
it's so hard because I love skating with all the boys, but a lot of the times I like to just try and go and film clips of everybody too, and like I'll cruise around. But, you know, easier said than done. Most of the time I end up trying something, then I'm in a battle for 2 hours, you know.
That
I'm
indie
like,
you pulled at that park at summer camp off that little quarter pipe.
oh yeah, yeah.
That was sick, bro. I was like, God damn.
That's something I never really skate either. Like,
was
I
so
like a
cool,
little
man.
backside air. Like that is
Yeah.
like I skate street too. But that's what's so sick about summer camp is like
Yeah.
we rolled into camp that day. We were like, I think it was like day 4, one of the middays, dude. We're cooked. The whole Capita Union gang, we're fried, dude. We've been going hard for 5 days now. You know, but everybody's eating dinner. We kind of start rolling around, and like some people start to gather, and then like we all just were like, all right, like we're gonna skate this thing, dude. And then we have people like taking photos and all this, and
Yeah.
camp is freaking out, dude. And I'm like, yo, like I remember being a camper, sitting there eating dinner, like one of the pros that were there is starting to skate and everything, and it's like, yo, this is so sick, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Half hour later, like the whole camp is like watching, and we're like, yo, this is so sick. Everybody's so hyped, dude. You know, it's like,
Camp is special, man. I never went to a snowboard camp, but I did get to go to some other camps, and like those are, special times, man.
I agree.
Could only imagine what a snowboard camp must be like.
Snowboard camp is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to my dad for sending me to snowboard camp when I was younger too. It's like where I met a lot of people, like my homie Benny who rides for Capita too. We met, I think we were like 12 or 13. We met on that same quarter pipe, I'm pretty sure, or something. Like, I have such a vivid memory of us skating that thing when we're 14 years old or whatever it was. Like,
it seems like a lot of people meet out there, like that cause like long-term career connections. Because I listen to the Bomb Hole obviously, and like, yeah, the people that talk about Mount Hood and the summer camps and how they met people there that changed their whole career, or like they ride with
yep,
all the time now.
I mean, the whole snowboard industry is there in the summer because there's nowhere else to summer or snowboard in the summer in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of the people that, are spread out around the world come there in the summer. So it's like the connections you meet there, it's insane,
I wish I wish I would have been more cognizant of summer camp growing up, because if I wanted to go, my parents probably would have sent me. I just didn't have really any knowledge of it, and I didn't have homies that were going. So like one of the things like we've been talking about, like paying it forward, if we can like figure out a way to send kids to that camp, like, hey, we'll pay for you to go to camp. You got talent, kid. Like, this will set you to a new level.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there was this kid. His name's Gary. He's I think he's from Wenatchee, Mission Ridge local. I was like, yo, you should come to the Capita session. Dude, we were on the camp the first day. Somebody's screaming my name. I'm like, who? I'm like, what the heck is going on? And this kid comes up to me. He's not in a snowboard gear, and I'm like, yo. He was like, you don't remember me? And then I was like. And then, we had to go do something. Then I came back and we started talking. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're this kid from Mission Ridge. And dude, shout out Gary. He was so sick. And he's so hyped to just be at camp. Like, that's awesome. And the progression of this kid, like, within a week was so dope, dude. And he's skating with us. He's, like, hanging out with us. I'm like, yo, this kid's dope, dude. Like,
that's awesome, man. That's what's so special about what I've heard about that camp. Like, being a young kid, getting to go there, and then your idols are there too. Like, these people you watch videos of are there. Like, what? Like,
well, it's something too. Like, that's like a lot of the time, ways I think we can pay it forward is like, I don't know, when I was a camper, like, I don't, I'm sure there was some pros that came up to us and stuff, but that wasn't like a big memory of from my camp, So I think, when we go to camp, it's really important to hang out with those kids and like, not even if we're skating or snowboarding, like we play knockout and dodgeball and do random stuff and just like hanging out with the kids and like they're trying to get us out and knockout or whatever, and it's like, that's so sick.
I think that mentality is more open than like previous snowboard culture where it was like rough, kind of gangster, like bad boy, like, you know what I mean, vibes, like kind of rough around the edges, like it's kind of closed off, you know what I mean? And now I feel like the community is more open because it understands the importance of growing snowboarding to keep it alive, you know what I'm saying, and to keep it strong. And and there's also just the different mental shifts within society about health, mental health, like personal growth, and like, these kind of things as a whole have shifted into the snowboard community as well. And it is super important to, let these kids know, like, yo, I'm just like you. I'm not too cool to talk to you.
I was there too, man. Like, yeah, it's sick. I think it's just important to like talk to anybody that wants to. And it's like it can be hard sometimes too when people are coming up to you all the time. A lot of the time, like I'm going up to Mount Spokane, I'm just trying to relax, But then people are coming up and it's like, yo, this is like why I do this. You know, people are like coming up to meet me and they're like, yo, I watch your videos on Instagram and all this. And I'm like, yo, this is so sick to like
Yeah.
have people, you know, they just want to meet, you know, maybe somebody they look up to. And like, even if I'm having a bad day or in a bad mood, like I'm always trying to like, you know, take the photo or whatever it may be, have a conversation, even if it's for 30 seconds with this person that is up at the mountain. Cause you know, that could make their whole week, you know, and it's
or
like,
it can break their whole week, right? You know,
yeah,
the
you know, and it's like,
alternative
if you're a dick, it's like, yo, they might not even want to snowboard anymore
Right.
after that. They're like, yo, maybe this person's whack. Like,
and that's why I like DJ Khaled. He has always been like really good to his fans, and you know, like I don't follow him too much or his music, but I read one of his books and Major Keys, I think it was called. He talks about the importance of always treating your fans good because they're the ones that support you and give you the career. And he's like, I don't care what I'm going through, I always will take a picture with a fan. He's like, because that's my livelihood. Like, and they're supporting it. And I have to realize that this is what I signed up for. When you enter into these realms of being somebody great, you know, you kind of lose certain privacies, you know what I'm saying, to some effect. And I could only imagine it's very mentally challenging at times to always have people you don't know who think they know you come up to you as if they do know you and want to interact, and I can see that being very difficult at times, you know, and finding that willpower to be like, all right, I got to dig deep right now and give these people my best. So
for
that,
sure. I mean, it's
know,
something I'm trying to work on. It's not like, you know, tons of people are coming up to me, you know, but it's like,
but it's still happening.
yeah, I mean, it happens, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
there's been times where, you know, like my girlfriend and I are going out, you know, and people at the bar or whatever, you know, trying to take photos. And it's like, I'm just trying to hang out.
Just
Like, this
trying
is
to
my one
chill.
day out with her. Like,
Yeah.
but, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, like you just said, like, this is what I signed up for. And it's like, I don't want to, you know, take that opportunity away from somebody to meet somebody they look up to, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's like another thing about practicing patience, you know, and just like trying to do the best for people, you know, make the people, you know, make everybody excited, you know? And it's like,
Yeah, I think that's wonderful, dog. You know, that's something that I had to learn about myself, keeping myself excited. Like, you know, just showing up for myself, you know, and it's important to shift your mind, like when you don't feel like it, to keep showing up, you know, and understanding the responsibilities you have with your pursuit, you know.
facts.
Yeah, and it's something you have to work at every day. But
Shit's not easy, man.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it great, you know? Like anything
Yeah.
in life is, you know, worth doing is not going to come easy. Snowboarding included. Like, it's not every day I wake up and I'm like, yo, I'm going to go learn a new trick. But it's like, yo, that's like what it's about, dude. Like, push yourself to get in that mindset to like, you know, because when the winter's over, you're going to look back on those days and be like, I should have tried it that day. Like, what am I doing? You know, you can put that in every aspect of life too.
yeah,
You know, I was up at Mount Baker for Brain Bowl and Sesh Up, this little event that they do. So sick. I was there for 5 or 6 days. The last day we're hitting the big jump. I had been thinking about a trick I wanted to do all year. I haven't really been able to hit a jump all year. I was so cooked that day. All I wanted to do was chill with the boys, watch everybody. And I started to think, I'm like, yo, if I go home tomorrow and I don't try this, I am literally going to think about this all summer, that I was a pussy that day, basically. And that, like, yo, I got to stand up and, like, go and try this shit. You know? Fucking hiked up. This hike is, like, absolutely beast of a hike to get enough speed for this jump, dude. But you know, you just gotta set your mind to it sometimes and be like, yo, I'm going to accomplish this today.
Mm-hmm.
Today is the fucking day. Whether
Mm-hmm.
you woke up and thought it was or not. Like
Mm-hmm.
trying to get you mentally, you know, get ourselves mentally to like, you know, be uncomfortable. It's also a trick that I was standing at the top of the jump. I was so scared, dude. I watched
Yeah.
so many people go. And everybody's like, yo, you want to go? And I'm like, yo, I'm just really scared right now. Like, I don't really want to try this. And then somebody looked up and they were like, dude, you got it. Like, what are you even stressing
Yeah.
about? Like, you literally, like, I already know you're going to do it. And I was like, fuck, you're right. And then I just dropped and then I fucking tried it.
Yeah.
Didn't land a first try. I got really close. Landed a second try. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, dude. Like,
I've seen those clips. It was, dude, that was so big. How like you launched it. I was like, I know it doesn't translate as big on film, but I know enough to know like that was huge, bro. Like that distance and your height really that you went up was just crazy.
yeah, that jump's beast. And, like, the landing is not soft. Like,
It didn't look soft
like
at
it's
all.
not
It
groomed.
did not look soft
It's
at
not
all.
powder.
No.
It's like, you know,
It looked
kind of
rough.
slushy snow.
Yeah.
You're also watching people not go fast enough the whole time, so you're like, how fast
looks
am I
sticky.
about to go?
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's like you're off the jump. It's like, fuck, dude, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You know, like
Yeah.
we all have really good air awareness. You know, most of the time, you know, it's like, all right, just really focus on what you're about to be doing. Like, just trust yourself.
So do you practice visualization before you do your tricks a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like very visual in how I think about stuff in my mind when I'm trying to learn a trick. Like, I'm really going to think about like how it's going to look. Even if I haven't tried it before, like I'm going to think about it, you know, how the best I think, you know, how am I going to try this, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out.
Yeah. I like, like what you said, like that if I don't try this trick this year, am I going to be okay with it? Am I really not going to accomplish this trick that I want to get done and let a season go by and I'm not going to get it this season? I'm going to push it off to next season. And because I've related to that this season with tricks that I wanted to accomplish and the previous season, like some things that I wanted to get done were like some, like wildcats and, just going under. And, it's like I really learned how to flip around like at 31, 32. Like those were my first inverts. And, most people aren't learning that at 31. They're saying like they're quitting snowboarding
For
or they're
sure,
too
bro.
old. Like, oh, bro, it's too old to try. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it because I don't want to get to the end of my snowboarding career and not have done those type of things because I know I can. And I did. Like, I basically landed the first backflip I tried that season, like 3 seasons ago. I was like, yeah, it wasn't even that bad, and so I progressed since then. And
Most of the time it's not that bad. You know,
yeah,
it's just about breaking through that mental, like your body's telling you like, do not try this.
yeah,
And it's like, yo,
yeah,
you got this. Like,
yeah.
it's tough to break through sometimes, you know?
And it's weird because I started looking at snowboarding and trying things I'm scared of as just a way to help me in life. Like, oh, you're scared to do this. That means you got to go do it. Because if you can do these kinds of things on a snowboard, like I feel like some of the things that you face in business or your personal life or whatever it is, like even like for me, talking to a girl, like I do all this other stuff. I'm scared to go talk to this girl. Like, nah, bro, like I'm not gonna be scared of that. So, it can just translate when you push yourself into doing things you have fear of in snowboarding. It really helps you build a confidence of what you can accomplish in other places of life. Because it is scary to throw yourself crazy off a jump in the air like that. Like you get comfortable with it, but initially it's like, what am I really doing? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like snowboarding's such a like awesome, cool thing, but it's just crazy that we attach these sticks to our feet and just fly down these mountains and like do the things we do on them. And I watch some people, I'm just like, what is happening? Like, who would like the audacity to think you could do that?
I
man?
know some people have crazy confidence, which I'm like, yo, I wish I could have that because I am still scared to try stuff. Even tricks that I have done before.
Yeah.
It's like the jump's different or something,
Yeah.
you know? It's like I'm stressing at the top all the time, but then it's like, all right, drop in and like,
But
like,
you'd go. And
you just gotta go. You just gotta do it, you know? And maybe not every day am I, you know, I think there comes a time too where you gotta realize maybe today is not the day sometimes. Like,
I think you're right, man. You gotta be cognizant of when it's just not working or it's not the right time. And I think generally you can decipher that. Like you can decipher when it's like, no, you're just being scared. And you can decipher like, no, things are not stacking up right now. Like it's not looking good. I need to stop, you know, like, cause I've had that problem in the past where it's just like trying to force it. And when you're trying to force it in such an aggressive way, like you can maybe make it happen, you know, but typically I've learned for myself, like it's not the time. I gotta take a break, come back, reset, try it again.
Yep. I mean, it's tough sometimes, you know? It's like a lot of the times I'm like, I really want to do this, but
it's hard to give up, man, sometimes. Like, you
it
just
is,
don't
but
want to stop, man.
You also, I think it's important for people to learn that, like, you know, you can't be, like, the best every single day. It's not every day that I go up snowboarding that I'm, like, filming some sick clip, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's, like, every other day. Maybe, dude. But it's, like,
Yeah.
you know, hope for 3 days a week that you're on fire, you know? But it's, like, dude, one day, like, that's great, you know?
Yeah, there's a great book I read by Stephen Pressfield. It's The War of Art, not to be confused with The Art of War by Sun Tzu, but The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he talks about the importance of showing up every day. For him, it's writing. I have to write every day. And he's like, a lot of days I write shit. It's the one day that I keep showing up, that I write something that's really good and genius, and that's what I use. He's like, a lot of times what I write is not good. It's terrible. But it's about showing up every day to get to that zone where you create the great result. And I think that, like, that's another important point to make, is that it's super important to keep showing up day in, day out, because most days is not going to unfold what you hope or what you want out of it. You have to trudge through that. You have to accept those failures. You have to keep going, because that's what it takes, you know?
It is, at the end of the day. That's what it takes, dude. And, you know, it might suck, but, like, that's what makes it, you know, when you write that good thing or you land that new trick, it's like, that's what makes it worth it in that moment, you know? Yeah. All the work you've put in, all the shitty days you've had up until then, you know, you have that one day where it's a breakthrough, and then it's like, all right, man.
Don't stop. Keep going.
Yep.
And that, like, you hear those things, you're like, okay, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, but no, really, that's what it is. Don't stop. Keep going. Like, whatever it is you want to get to, like, just keep going. Don't give up.
You just got to have a goal in mind for what you're going to do. That's been really important for me, you know? It's like, I've kind of gotten to where I am in snowboarding, like, thinking that I want to be a professional snowboarder and, like, I want to be one of the best. And now I'm sitting here, you know, like, what's my next motivator, you know? And it's like, I want to keep filming videos. I want to inspire the next generation to make it from a smaller town, or even if you are from the big town, like, maybe I inspire you still. Like, that's so sick, dude. Like, that's my motivation, is to, like, keep putting it out there. You know, man. Just don't stop.
Don't stop, man. Viz, man, it's been an honor, dog. It's been an honor, for real. I'm so glad we got to spend this time together. I could keep talking to you.
Yeah, me too.
For hours, bro. Because I feel like there's so much we haven't got to, really, but I know we've covered so much, so we'll have to have you back on again. And once we, formulate some of these things we were talking about off camera, it'll be a good time. And I can't wait to see where your career goes, man, and how you impact our region as your your dominance in this region, in this area just keeps growing, man. Cause it's like, it's so cool to hear a name buzzing around town. You know what I mean? Like in a real way in the snowboarding community. I just never really seen it before, the way that it's happening for you, man. And you're riding with one, like, you're riding for capita, dog. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Crazy, bro.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
Union
thanks.
bindings and like, bro, it's just, it's like I said, it's been an honor, man, having you on.
Yo,
And,
So-
once again, look out for Bone Crusher by 32 coming out this fall.
it's gonna be bussing.
Ooh, it's gonna be busting. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's
And,
gonna be good. We're gonna do a premiere in Spokane, hopefully. So
Yeah,
everybody pull up.
yeah. Stay tuned, man. Bone Crusher premiere.
Yo, and thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I'm stoked for
Yeah,
sure.
me too, man. I wish it didn't have to end, but we'll wrap it up. All right. This is City Chapters Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby J, and this chapter was with Austin Visintainer, aka Viz. Till next time.